Hi everyone, let's talk about Pandemic Iberia. And so, normal Pandemic, I really, really love. It was a very early game for us, one of the earlier ones that we bought, and is probably one of the games I've had for the longest, if not the game I've had for the longest. So, really, really love that. We've got, the first two expansions for that. We played through Pandemic Legacy, absolutely loved that. It's one of the best, experiences we've had playing through the campaign of that, and cannot wait for season 2. Pandemic Iberia is, I knew it was a spin-off and that it was changing things around, that we'd have to build railroads and things. Didn't know that much about it before going in, and I have to say I've really, really, really enjoyed it. For someone that's played Pandemic itself a lot in its various forms, I wasn't expecting it to feel so different, and it really, really does. Not being able to fly around at the start feels very, very restrictive. The addition of the railroads, though, are fantastic, especially if you have the railwayman, which, I assume that everyone's power is brilliant in its own way, but I personally really love him just being able to lay these out as fast as possible and get us a nice framework to get around the country. You're limited by these, so you can't just link up loads and loads of things, but you can give yourself a nice structure to venture off and go to the cities that you need to get to. It's really, really fantastic how these work and how you can just zip around, and they make up for the loss of the planes, because in Pandemic, to move around the planes you still need to lose cards. You don't need to lose anything to get across these, so him being able to build them, and then I imagine in a game with more players as well, him being able to take people around with him would be even better. We haven't really used that ability that much ourselves, but I imagine it's going to be really fantastic. The purifying water is a really brilliant action. There are things in, I believe, the State of Emergency expansion, which I haven't got for normal Pandemic, where you can put things down that prevent some cubes being put down. So that may be a variant of that, but these work really, really well. You're very free to put them down. You are wasting cards early on, which you don't really want to be doing because you don't know how they're going to come out. You don't know which colours you're going to be going for yet. But especially once you have cured a few diseases and you're safe, that you don't need those colours again, like in the playthrough, you can just be putting these out everywhere because you put them in an adjacent city and have to discard that city's colour to be able to put these down, and they're going to prevent a cube each time from any adjacent city to that. So it's like 2 cities away that you're protecting. So you don't actually have to get over there, which is another way of handling the difficulty of getting around. You can just put these around and prevent the cubes without actually having to be there. You can just get near to the place that's at risk, put some purified water there, and then zip off to the next place and help there. There were so many cubes in the playthrough that got prevented just because there was a lot of water around, because we had the cards to spare towards the end of the game. As well as the standard Iberia game and the thing from Pandemic of increasing the difficulty with more epidemics in the deck, there are 2 variants for this. So there is the Historic Diseases Challenge, where I should have said this in the game rather than calling them their names. I should have remembered what the names of the things are. So, black is malaria, red is typhus, yellow is yellow fever, and blue is cholera. So you have these cards for each of the diseases, and they have some historical information. I don't know if you can see very clearly there at the bottom. There's some historic information of how many people died to these diseases and how bad it got, and when it happened and what we did maybe. So you can get a bit more into the history of everything, because I assume this is a really good thing about Iberia as well, because I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong, but I think that it was said that this is the fact that people were trying to research these diseases that were spreading is a big reason why these railroads were built, to get people around and get people to the hospitals and things. I'm not sure how historically accurate that is, but it feels fantastic as part of the story as you're playing through the game. It really does feel like you are connecting everything up and really trying your hardest to save these people. So with this challenge, rather than variant, it gives you a bit more historic information, but all of the diseases act in different ways. So let's say red, typhus. If there is more than 1 red cube in a city, you have to spend 2 actions to remove a cube from it. Blue, when blue outbreaks, in addition to placing a blue cube in each city 1 connection away, also place a blue cube in each city that is 2 connections away if there are no cubes in it. So they will definitely make the game harder. I've tried the Historical Diseases Challenge once solo, and I was not ready for it. I think a bit more practice, or maybe I should have done it on introductory mode rather than normal, because yeah, there's a reason I didn't do this in the playthrough, apart from wanting to show the game itself rather than a variant as well. But yeah, the way these diseases act differently really changes up the game and will force you to try different strategies to try and cope with the different ways these diseases spread. Because when infecting with black, whenever you would put one cube into a city that has no black cubes in it, put two in there instead. So you have to be worried when it's a brand new city. Do you want to clear a black city because it's just going to get filled up with two if you completely clear it? Also, there is the Influx of Patients challenge, which all you need for it is this little change to the player aid that just goes on the board to show you the round thing. So the hospitals now will come with purified water, 2 purified water that you can put down when you build a hospital of that colour. But that's all the purified water that's in the game, I believe. So as well as doing the standard things every round, the cubes are patients. These are patients that are suffering from this disease. The patients are going to move towards hospitals. At least one patient is going to move, one per colour is going to move towards the hospital of that colour. And so those cities are going to get overwhelmed. And that's, another really thematic thing, that these patients, this is where they can cure that disease. The patients are obviously going to gravitate towards there, and the hospitals would get overwhelmed. So I haven't tried that one, but that really seems, really thematic again, and seems like another big challenge as well. So as well as Pandemic Iberia, just the base game, in my opinion, does feel different enough to Pandemic. It's definitely one that I'm going to be keeping and can stand alongside it, because I think it gives enough of a different experience to be really worth it. But on top of the base game itself being really, really good, there are those 2 distinct challenges as well. I wonder if you can combine them and have an insanely hard game. But anyway, that's for a future in which I've practiced a lot more than I have right now, because I can do normal difficulty Pandemic Iberia, vanilla Iberia. But beyond that, I think I'm going to need a bit more work. But that is Pandemic Iberia. Really, really enjoy it. I think that's it. If you didn't like Pandemic itself, I don't know if there's going to be enough here to change your mind. Maybe, because with these it could be a lot more of a challenge if your problem is that Pandemic's too easy. But normal Pandemic, you just put more epidemics in and it's really going to challenge you that way. And with the expansions and the purple disease and the mutations and things, I think there's a lot in Pandemic anyway, so you have to decide for yourself whether it's enough for you to own an extra thing. But for me anyway, I think it is, and I've been really enjoying it. So that's Pandemic Iberia. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye.